Imagine many years ago there were many types of humans on Earth, not just us. But today only one type is left, Homo sapiens. How did we become so important? This summary of the book, Sapiens, by Yuval Harari, tells the story of how humans changed the world. It talks about three big changes in history. First, the cognitive revolution, when humans started to think and talk in new ways. Then, the agricultural revolution, when we began to farm and live in villages. And finally, the scientific revolution, which is still happening now and changing everything very fast. This book will show you that humans are special because we can work together in big groups. We do this by believing in stories or myths that we all share. These stories can be about gods, money, or countries. This ability made us powerful. But now this power is creating big problems for our world, and we need to think carefully about how to use it. 2. The first humans. Long ago, the world was home to more than one type of human. About 100,000 years ago, there were at least 6 kinds of humans living on Earth. We Homo sapiens are the only ones left today. There were others, like Neanderthals, who lived in Europe and were strong and good in cold places. There was Homo erectus in Asia, who lived for a very long time. And there was Homo floresiensis, very small humans who lived on an island. They were all humans, part of the genus Homo, but not Homo sapiens like us. It is important to know that we were not always the only humans. Then, something amazing happened around 70,000 years ago. We call it the cognitive revolution. Homo sapiens started to think in new ways. They developed language that was more than just sounds for danger or food. They could talk and think about things that were not real. They could create stories and myths. This was something very special. Other animals and even other types of humans could not really do this. These stories and myths gave Homo sapiens a great power. Because they could all believe in the same stories, they could work together in very large groups. Imagine a group of chimpanzees trying to build a city. It is impossible. Chimpanzees can only work with animals they know well. But Homo sapiens could work with strangers because of shared beliefs. They could believe in the same gods, the same tribe, or the same ideas. This ability to work together in big groups is what made Homo sapiens different and stronger than other humans and all other animals. But where are the other humans now? And what about the big animals that used to live on Earth, like giant kangaroos and mammoths? Around the time Homo sapiens spread around the world, these humans and big animals started to disappear. We are not completely sure why. Maybe Homo sapiens were better at getting food and there was not enough for everyone. Maybe Homo sapiens fought with other humans. It is possible that Homo sapiens were part of the reason why other humans and big animals died out. Today, we are the only humans left. It is a big responsibility. 3. Daily life long ago. Imagine life a very long time ago, about 30,000 years ago. There were no farms, no cities, no shops. People lived in small groups and moved around a lot. We call them foragers or hunter-gatherers. Every day was about finding food. They ate many different things. They gathered fruits, nuts, and plants. They also hunted animals. Sometimes they ate small animals like rabbits and birds. Sometimes, if they were lucky and worked together, they hunted big animals like bison. They also ate insects and bone marrow. Because they ate many kinds of food, they were usually healthy. These early people moved from place to find food. They followed animals and plants. They didn't stay in one place for very long. They lived in groups of about 50 people. Everyone in the group knew each other very well. They were like a big family. They helped each other to find food and to stay safe. It seems these early humans had interesting beliefs. They probably believed that everything around them had feelings and a spirit. This is called animism. They might have thought that rocks, trees, animals, and even the wind could talk to them. They didn't have gods like we think of today, but they talked to the spirits of nature. Some people think that life for foragers was hard and short, but maybe it was not so bad. They did not work very long hours. They worked maybe 35 to 45 hours a week to find food. They had a lot of free time to rest, talk, and play. They also did not have many things. They carried everything they owned when they moved, but maybe they did not need many things to be happy. Some people even call them the original rich people because they had enough and they had time. Of course, life was also difficult. It was dangerous. Animals could attack them. They could get sick or hurt. Babies and children often died young. But in some ways, their life was easier than life became later. They did not have to work on farms all day. They did not have to work in factories. These first humans lived in nature and were part of it. They did not change the world very much. But slowly, over many years, they started to have a bigger effect on the world around them. They hunted animals, and maybe they caused some big animals to disappear. They used fire to change the land. Even long ago, humans started to change the environment. 4. The farming revolution. About 12,000 years ago, something important changed. People started to farm. This is called the farming revolution or the agricultural revolution. Before this time, people moved around to find food. They were hunters and gatherers. But then people began to grow their own food and keep animals. It started slowly. People learned to grow plants like wheat and rice. They also learned to keep animals like sheep and cows. Instead of finding food in the wild, they could produce it themselves. This changed how people lived. At first, farming seemed like a good idea. People thought it would make life easier, but it was not always better. Farmers worked very hard. They had to work from morning to night in the fields. The work was often difficult and tiring. Also, farmers often ate the same food every day, like wheat or rice. Hunter-gatherers ate many different kinds of plants and animals. So the food of early farmers was not as interesting or healthy as the food of hunter-gatherers. Some people say that farming was a kind of trap. It was not always the better life people hoped for. Farming meant people could stay in one place. They built villages. Living together in villages had new problems. Diseases spread more easily when people lived close together. Also, when some people started to keep more food and animals than others, some people became richer than others. This started social inequality. To live in bigger groups, people needed new ways to work together. They created new, imagined orders. These were ideas that everyone believed in to help them live together in villages and bigger groups. For example, religion became more important. People started to believe in powerful gods and goddesses. Sometimes they believed that their leaders were chosen by the gods, like kings and queens who ruled because of divine right. These shared beliefs helped people to cooperate in these new, larger farming communities. 5. Making up stories. When people started living in bigger groups after farming began, they needed new ways to work together. Small groups could work because they knew each other. But in villages and towns, most people were strangers. To live together, they had to believe in some common stories. These stories are not real in nature, but people believed them. We call these stories imagined orders. Imagined orders are ideas that everyone believes are true, even if they are not real, like trees or rivers. These stories help us to cooperate with many people we don't know. Think about laws. Laws are not real things you can touch. They are ideas we make up and agree to follow. For example, the Code of Hammurabi was a set of laws written down a long time ago. People in Babylon believed these laws were fair and important. These laws were imagined orders. They helped people live together in a big society. Another example is money. Money is just paper or metal. It is not food or clothes, but we all believe that money is worth something. Because we believe it, we can use money to buy things from strangers. Money is another imagined order that helps us cooperate. Think about a company like Peugeot. Peugeot is a car company, but it's more than just cars and factories. It's an idea that many people believe in. Many people work for Peugeot, buy Peugeot cars, and believe that Peugeot exists. But Peugeot is not a real person. It's an imagined order. Human rights are also imagined orders. We believe that everyone has rights, like the right to live and be free. The Declaration of Independence talks about human rights, but human rights are not like arms or legs. You cannot see or touch them. They are stories we believe in. These stories are very important. They help us to treat each other fairly and cooperate in big groups. How do we keep believing in these imagined orders? One way is writing. Writing down laws and stories helps us remember them and teach them to others. Education is also important. We teach children these stories in schools and at home. Sometimes people use force to make others believe in imagined orders. Police and armies can make people follow laws, but the most important thing is that most people believe in these stories. We believe in laws, money, companies, and human rights. Even though they are not real in nature, they are real in our minds and in our society. It's important to remember that even though imagined orders are made up, they are very real. They affect our lives every day. They help us build big cities, create money, and have laws. Imagined orders are what makes human society possible. They are the stories that we make up and that make us human. 6. Building big things. Slowly, people started to live together in bigger groups. At first, there were small families, then villages, and later big cities and countries. This was a big change in how humans lived. People from different places started to connect and work together. It was like humankind was becoming one big group. One thing that helped people join together was money. Imagine you have apples, but you need shoes. The person who makes shoes may not need apples right now. Money helps with this. Money is like a story we all agree on. We trust that we can give money for things and get things when we give money. It is a kind of universal myth. Because everyone trusts in money, it helps people from different places trade and work together, even if they don't know each other. Another thing that brought people together was empires. Empires are when one country rules many other countries and people. Empires often started with fighting and taking over land, but empires also did some good things. When empires grew, they helped spread ideas and new ways of doing things. For example, the Roman Empire helped spread Roman ideas and ways of building roads across a large area. Empires could connect different groups of people, even if it was sometimes done by force. Empires also helped spread new technologies to many areas. Religions also played a big role in joining people together. Some religions started to say that everyone in the world should believe in the same God or ideas. Religions like Christianity and Islam grew very big and spread to many countries. These religions gave people a feeling of being part of a large community of believers, even if they lived far apart and did not know each other. These religions helped to create big groups of people who shared similar beliefs and values. So, humankind became more united by money, empires, and universal religions. These things helped to build bigger and more connected societies. People started to think of themselves not just as part of a small village or family, but as part of a much larger world. This unification was a very important step in human history, and it changed how we live today. 7. The Science Revolution. For a long time, people thought they knew everything important. Old books and traditions had all the answers. If you wanted to know something, you just asked a wise person or read an old book. But about 500 years ago, something new started. People began to understand that they did not know everything. This was the start of the science revolution. One important idea of this time was that we are still ignorant about many things. Instead of just reading old books, people started to look at the world around them and ask new questions. They began to watch things carefully and do experiments to find answers. They also started to use maths to help understand what they saw. This new way of thinking was very powerful. It helped people discover new things about nature and the world. Science began to grow very fast, but science did not grow alone. It was connected to other big changes in the world at that time. One big connection was with empires. European countries started to build big empires around the world. To build and control these empires, they needed new knowledge. Science gave them this knowledge. For example, to travel far across the sea, you need to know about stars and maps. Scientists help to make better maps and understand the stars. Also, empires wanted to be stronger than other countries. So they used science to make better weapons. Another important connection was with money and business, which is called capitalism. Capitalism is about making money and growing business. Science helped businesses grow. New inventions from science made it possible to produce more things and sell them for more money. For example, new machines helped to make cloth faster and cheaper. This made businesses richer, and richer businesses gave more money to science to invent even more things. Science, empire, and capitalism started to work together. Because of the science revolution, life changed very fast. People invented amazing new things. We made cars, planes, computers, and medicines. We could grow more food and build bigger cities. Life became longer and in many ways easier. This is what we call progress. But progress also had some bad sides. Factories and cities made pollution. New technologies could be used to make powerful weapons that could hurt many people. Also, as we changed the world for ourselves, we often hurt nature. Many animals and plants started to disappear. Another question is, did all this progress make people happier? It's hard to say. We have more things and live longer. But are we more happy inside? Some people think that progress made us less happy. They say that we lost old ways of life that were important, like family and community. We work harder and faster, but maybe we don't enjoy life more. The science revolution changed the world in big ways. It gave us amazing new powers, but it also brought new problems and questions. It is still not clear if all this change made us better off in the end. We need to think carefully about what progress really means for our lives and for the world around us. 8. The future of people. Imagine what people will be like in the future. Will we be the same as we are now? Maybe not. New technologies are changing us. Think about biotechnology. Scientists are learning more and more about our bodies, our brains, and our genes. They might be able to change these things. For example, maybe in the future, doctors can change our genes to stop diseases before they even start. Maybe they can make us stronger or cleverer. Another big change is artificial intelligence, or AI. Computers are becoming very smart. Some people think that one day computers will be smarter than people in many ways. What happens then? Maybe computers will help us with everything. Maybe they will do all the work. Or maybe some people worry computers will become too powerful. Will these changes mean the end of Homo sapiens as we know it? It's possible. Maybe in the future we will not be Homo sapiens anymore. We might become something different, something new. Perhaps we will change ourselves so much with technology that we become a new kind of being. This future is not certain. We do not know what will happen, but we have to think about it now. We have a lot of power. We can change our bodies, our brains, and the world around us. It is our responsibility to think carefully about what we want to do with this power. What kind of future do we want to create? It is a big question. There are no easy answers. But it is important to talk about it. We need to think about the future of people and what it means to be human in a world that is changing so fast. We need to be careful and we need to be wise. The future of people is in our hands.
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.